Thank you, Jocelyn and the CSU team. I'm John Albee, Vice President and General Counsel for Leprino Foods Company. Many of you are familiar with our company, but some of you may not be. For those less familiar, our company is headquartered in Denver, on the same block where we have been for over 70 years. We are the largest producer of mozzarella cheese in the world and a leading manufacturer of dairy ingredients such as lactose and whey protein. We have a significant manufacturing footprint in northern Colorado and 7 other plants located throughout the U.S. Our operations and the dairy farmers that supply us rely on a dependable supply of high-quality water, and we invest significant resources to ensure that we are using that water wisely. We work with various stakeholders to develop innovative solutions to water-related issues in our region, and that's why we are so excited about the new Spur campus. We are confident that Spur will help advance these efforts and be an incubator for the collaborative efforts of a diverse group of stakeholders. Water issues are complex, transcend boundaries, and solutions require partnerships at every level. It is my honor to introduce Colorado Governor Jared Polis, who understands these complexities well. Governor Polis is Colorado's biggest fan, but he is also a business owner, education leader, philanthropist, and public servant. Prior to being elected governor in 2018, Polis had a wide-ranging career. The founder of multiple businesses, Governor Polis also started programs to support Coloradans to achieve entrepreneurial successes, including Techstars, a startup accelerator. It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce the Governor of the state of Colorado, Jared Polis.
These times are challenging, and we're living through the most serious public health crisis in more than a century. And in a year that we've seen major drought across our state and the 3 largest wildfires in the history of Colorado, there's no better time to be talking about water and the Colorado Water Plan. Drought and fires from 2002 sparked much of the water policy we have in the state. And there's no doubt that the events of today and this past summer are already shaping how we think about the future. We cannot talk about the future of water without also addressing climate change and elevating our shared responsibility to protect our natural resources and our water for ourselves and our future generations. It's more important than ever to foster collaborative efforts and double down on initiatives to support the water plan and resilient, climate-focused policies. Thankfully, resiliency is at the heart of the Colorado Water Plan. In Colorado, we focused on collaboration and balance with regard to water solutions that involve everyone from across our state doing their part. We need agriculture, we need thriving suburban communities, we need conservation, we need storage, we need our working rivers to provide thriving habitat and unique outdoor recreation opportunities like whitewater rafting and recreational fishing. Today marks the 5-year anniversary of the Water Plan. And already we're making progress. We're putting climate science at the forefront of water supply planning. We transitioned Colorado's statewide water planning effort to evaluate future risks using the very best data that the Colorado Climate Plan has and elevating the state of art with regard to how we look at the science. We've developed an innovative new tool to quantify the costs of fire, flood, and drought. The Future Avoided Cost Explorer, or FACE, is a statewide planning resource that quantifies the direct impact of floods, drought, and wildfires on different sectors of the Colorado economy. Amid a pandemic that requires social distancing, and we need to do a better job at staying our distance from others, we've been able to continue learning from our farmers and ag producers on the ground with the first ever virtual drought tour, which has been developed to share stories from around the state in a year where 100% of the state is experiencing drought. We're working with communities to integrate land use planning with water efficiency. From 2019 to 2020, the state held 17 water loss trainings to support local utilities' effort to conserve water across the state. We've created a multi-state partnership to provide integrated water and land use training. And since 2018, the Colorado Water Conservation Board has been working with the Sonoran Institute and Babbitt Center for Land and Water Policy to bring growing water smart workshops to Colorado. These workshops bring together an interdisciplinary team of land use planners and water planners and elected officials to work together to develop a meaningful action plan that integrates water planning into land use planning. We're supporting innovative water projects. Project data is the focal point of planning in our river basins and is formally supported as a wildly important goal of our administration to develop 500 projects that reflect the goals in the water plan, are supported by the data, and are ready to go. This process relies on our basin roundtables, including 400 active participants from across the state who are working diligently to update their basin implementation plans that are locally tailored solutions for our water needs. We secured a $100 million financing package to advance the long-awaited Arkansas Valley Conduit Project, which, after waiting decades, will finally bring clean drinking water to 50,000 people in southern Colorado. And after more than 3 decades, we received final approval for the Chatfield Reallocation Project, which brings environmental, agricultural, and outdoor recreational benefits, along with new critical multi-purpose water storage capacity for growing Front Range communities. We're enhancing our rivers. Since 2019, the Colorado Water Conservation Board has obtained 24 new water rights across the state to protect 192 miles of stream in need of environmental enhancements. Native aquatic species protected by these rights include northern leopard frogs, round-tailed chub, Rio Grande cutthroat trout, Colorado River cutthroat trout, and the newly rediscovered San Juan lineage cutthroat trout, which had previously been thought to be extinct. We're leading on Colorado River issues. The security and sustainability of the Colorado River, our namesake, remains at the forefront. The Colorado River drives economic activity and is the hardest working river in the American West. And as the headwaters and the namesake, Colorado has been and will continue to lead on Colorado River issues alongside our fellow basin states and our federal partners. Completing the drought contingency plan last year was historic and was a major step forward to protecting the critical elevations at Lake Powell and Meade. This is a great example of Western states and the federal government coming together to address our water challenges in the face of climate change, drought, increased population. To implement the plans, we're investigating a potential demand management program, which could provide a tool for voluntary conservation of water to better protect ourselves in the face of an uncertain water future. And we're working with stakeholders from across the board to determine whether the voluntary, temporary, and compensated program works for Colorado. As we move to renegotiate the 2007 guidelines, we're supporting Colorado's rights and our values by working to ensure water security for our citizens, for agriculture, for recreation, and for our environment in the face of reduced river flows and the challenges presented by climate change and increased population. We will continue to include a broad set of voices as we work to address the security of the Colorado River. We're moving forward in the first update to the Colorado Water Plan, which is scheduled for release in 2022. The update will use the lessons that we learned, it'll be more accessible, and evaluate bold new actions to support Colorado's watersheds, cities, rural communities, and farms. In a year where we've seen 100% of our state impacted by drought, the 3 largest wildfires in the history of our state, and some flooding in certain areas, there's no doubt that climate change is making these issues even worse, and there's no better time to ensure that our water plan is resilient and is state-of-the-art, informed by the best possible up-to-date science. Given the importance of water to our future, it's critical that all of Colorado's leaders go about overcoming today's challenges and preparing for tomorrow's in a bipartisan, thoughtful way. As governor, I know it's critically important to bring everybody to the table. Republicans and Democrats, people from across the state, the Northeast, the Northwest, the suburbs, and the cities, federal, state, and local office holders, farmers and ranchers, scientists and environmental advocates, outdoor recreation enthusiasts, and the industry, and Coloradans from every single part of our state. Together, we can do even better. Thank you.